Good morning.
How we doing? Woo! Day 3. As we can see, the morning hour is thinning the audience. We appreciate you guys that showed up here. Happy Juneteenth. Definitely wanted to mention that. As some of you may know, we're going to have an incredible concert here tonight with 3-time Grammy Award winner Ludacris. So we hope to see you guys out there. One thing I wanted to note is that the title up here is actually wrong. It's the Convergence of Sports, Culture, and Digital Innovation. So
Close enough.
Close enough. Also, I want to highlight something super cool. Just about 5 minutes ago, Shachar was kind enough to give Tammy and I a pair of these super cool glasses. Will you tell us a little bit about them?
Sure, right? Getting right into it, huh?
Yeah.
These are Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, and it's a partnership that we have with Luxottica, and these glasses have AI built into them. You can listen to your favorite Spotify, music, podcast. You can take a call on it. I can say, hey Meta, take a picture. And it just took a picture of you guys. I can take videos, and it allows you to just be more present. Nothing better than watching Ludacris without your phone as a barrier in between you and your artist or your favorite NBA team. So they've become, honestly, a game changer. I don't take calls on anything other than them anymore.
I love it. And with the transition lenses, we can wear them at Ludacris tonight and not be like, oh, I can't
That's
see.
right. That's right.
Very well thought out. So the title of our session is called The Convergence of Sports, Culture, and Digital Innovation, which is a great through line for both of your careers. Can each of you give a brief synopsis of your careers and how you got to where you are today? We'll start with you, Tim.
So I started my career in the entertainment industry in magazine publishing at People magazine, which at the time was like the 800-pound gorilla in magazine publishing. It was like $1 billion organization, and I worked in sort of the OG direct-to-consumer marketing world, which was getting magazine subscribers to subscribe to get their mailed print copy of the magazine. So there I go, dating myself. After that, I spent some time at Time Magazine working in digital audience development. I was one of the original Facebook managers for the Time Magazine social media account back in the day. And then I spent some time at InStyle launching an e-commerce shopping site for them. Before that led me to my first move to the New York Times, where I joined at the start of the launch of the digital subscription business. So the newspaper industry was going through, the big print to digital transition. We're figuring out, what's the path to monetize the digital audience there. And so it was a really fascinating time to be at the Times and work through things like the registration wall and how many articles do people get before you start to convert them to a paid subscriber, et cetera. From there, that led me to CBS. CBS at the time was early-ish streaming days in 2014. Wanted to be one of the first. It was the first standalone TV network to have a direct-to-consumer streaming service. It was called lovingly CBS All Access at the time. And we kind of grew it. We grew it from launch to about 5 million subscribers before we merged with Paramount, or Paramount, and launched Paramount Plus from there. So my background is just kind of bouncing from one entertainment medium to another. And ultimately, my time in entertainment and streaming led me to the NBA, where similar, being attached to a television and viewing audience, it was really figuring out how are we going to, match the transition of the sports audience in a similar way. And so, that's how I got here.
Thanks, Tammy. Shachar?
I've been at the intersection of marketing and technology for 2 decades and started on the creative and media agency side, spent a decade there, and went to Apple, launched their first advertising platform, iAd, back in the day, launched Apple Music and Apple News, and went on to Snapchat and was their pre-IPO for many years and launched them in 20 new markets. Really, I think, pioneered visual communication as a way of storytelling, and went to Bumble during the pandemic and took them public. And in the last 3 years, I've been at Meta, leading marketing at Reality Labs, which is all the hardware, software, and services that we do.
Very cool. You guys both have amazing resumes. Tammy, the NBA has undeniably left its imprint on popular culture. Let's discuss how the integration of entertainment elements such as fashion, music, and celebrity involvement has become so relevant to the NBA audience, NBA experience, and how the league has honed in on these elements and incorporated it into its marketing.
Yeah. So first and foremost, the NBA is a lifestyle brand. And two things that I think that we bring to the table and what we have an impact in the marketplace is through our reach and our relevance. So we get both reach and relevance from our content distribution, right? We're in over 260 countries and 60 languages, so we can reach people globally in an instant. We have over 2.3 billion social followers, so that gives us our own platform to be able to connect with consumers and fans instantly all across the world and also show up in cultural conversations. So I think the other thing is like because we show up in cultural conversations, we are just sort of naturally inserted in cultural moments, but we also know how to show up in cultural moments. So an example of doing that, for example, is the NBA Finals Trophy Tour. I don't know if anybody been following that, but we launched it for finals last season. We brought it back for this past season, and it was basically taking the Larry O'Brien trophy and making sure he showed up at every single moment leading up to the finals that was noteworthy. And so from concerts to red carpets to the Tom Brady Celebros to whatever it might be, Larry was certainly there. He was on stage with Drake. He was at, every sporting event from the cricket tournament, world championship, to golf tournaments, to you name it. I think another thing that obviously has us naturally intertwined with cultural relevance is just our relationships with what we call our extended NBA family, which is, of course, celebrities and stars who are just fans of the game and are always showing up at our games front and center on Celeb Row. And then in terms of the fashion element, I think it's pretty well known now that, that when our players enter an arena, we've kind of lovingly dubbed that the tunnel walk. And the tunnel walk has now become synonymous with sort of fashion and kind of equivalent to the new men's fashion runway. And so, and for W, it's the new women's fashion runway as well. And so we just find that because of our reach and relevance, going back to the top, that we are just able to insert ourselves in cultural conversations.
Love that. Shachar, how are Meta's wearable technologies enhancing fan experience in sports, whether that's digitally, in person, or both?
So, talked a little bit about what it's like to, be hands-free. And so I think for music and experiencing live sporting events, these are incredible and really allow you to be present without, again, having that barrier of your phone in the way. With the NBA, we've created also a very deep partnership where you can feel like you're sitting courtside, but on your couch. So courtside to couch side. And we bring 52 games to your house, fully immersive, using X Stadium, fully mixed reality experience. And so it's not about replacing going to a live game, but not everybody gets to go to a live game. And if you do, it isn't necessarily something that you do all the time. So it's about bringing the NBA home. It's about creating a more immersive experience. You've got live data feeds. It allows you to really immerse yourself in the game. And so for super fans, it's also a way for them to engage in between all the games in the season and also pick their avatars, have them wear their favorite jersey, their favorite teams. So it's another way for us to connect at scale with fans off the court, at home.
And are you guys rolling that out to several other sports leagues?
We've started with the NBA, and we also have a partnership with UFC. And so if you're a Fight Pass holder, you can authenticate using Quest 3 and watch fights in the octagon, again, as if you're right there with Dana White. So I think it is about enhancing experiences, not replacing them. Being somewhere in person isn't going anywhere. But if you can't be there, having a more immersive experience at home is incredible. And so I think sports that allow you to do that differently than watching it on an amazing 8K TV is really important to us.
Very cool. So Tammy, the globalization of basketball in the NBA is undeniable. Fans from more than 200 countries have tuned into games in more than 50 languages this season, with the new faces of the league being players like Giannis, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. Tell us more about the growth of the sport internationally and how your team is supporting that from a marketing perspective.
So basketball is the number one fastest growing sport in the world today. And a lot of that is fueled, that growth is fueled, right, by 25% of our players coming from international markets. So we just have an organic attachment, right, to a lot of regions and markets because they're just homegrown fans that are rooting for their players from their own countries. And the three ways we're really focused on continuing to cultivate and grow those relationships and audiences is one, through content distribution and accessibility. We want to make sure our content is watchable, engageable on the platforms that our fans are using them in their markets. Two, it's continuing to facilitate and encourage youth participation. We're the number one youth participation sport in the U.S. And we're definitely growing really exponentially overseas as well. One way we facilitate that is through our junior NBA and junior WNBA programs. So we have youth participation basketball development programs globally, and we've run them in over 159 countries, and 42 million children worldwide participated in these camps. And so we know that creating fans, creating them young, right, breeds lifelong fandom, and so that's definitely a core priority for us. And the third way is really just ensuring when we're putting our marketing campaigns and messages in the marketplace, we're really tailoring them to all of the different markets and regions. So we have kind of a global brand campaign, but we will get local voice over talent, right, from the market. If we have celeb cameos, we'll insert local celebrities so that it feels more authentic to the regions. We'll use music that feel more authentic to our fans in that marketplace. So we can tailor a lot of different aspects of our campaigns. And we even have our players will read lines in Portuguese and Mandarin and Spanish, right? So that even the delivery feels really authentic.
Do you have specific marketers within the region that you work with to be able to do this?
Yeah, so we have I have marketing leaders across every single region, and we will partner with them to put all of our campaigns in all the markets. Yeah.
And I think I saw you recently traveling. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I recently came back from Africa, and I was there because we actually have a league in Africa. It's called the Basketball Africa League, and we have 12 countries on the continent of Africa that compete against each other. And we just had our finals there a few weeks ago, which was in Rwanda, and I flew straight back to a conference where I saw Chris right after.
That NBA finals.
I still want my jacket. I want the jacket that you were wearing.
Oh, yeah. I should have worn it today.
I know, maybe a little hot. So let's talk about the partnership between the NBA and Meta. We have a quick video that we're going to play, and then we'll discuss. Hoping you guys have that queued up.
Cue video.
Hit now. Do you guys have it? You don't?
Press play.
Okay. Well, I guess we won't be showing the video, so we'll just talk about it.
I can explain the video.
So
It'll be just as good as the commercial.
yes, it actually is a really good commercial, and it will be coming. Is it going to be on national TV coming up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you touched on this a little bit, but so this past season, 52 games were available to be watched in virtual reality via the Meta Quest VR headset. How does this immersive new way to experience the game through virtual reality change the game for the fans, And should we expect to see a lot more of it in the upcoming seasons?
So the spot that didn't show shows a guy doing his laundry at a laundromat, and while he's waiting, takes out his Quest 3 headset and watches his favorite game. So it is about, I think, and also just socially being more comfortable bringing technology with you. It's not something that, like these glasses, you would wear every single day, but watching a game while you're sitting at the DMV or sitting doing laundry is actually a great way to be entertained. We also have a great spot with Netflix where you're watching a movie while you're actually waiting at the DMV. So it is about immersing yourself in games and content, in fitness. We have great content around that as well. With the NBA in particular, again, it is about augmenting what it is like to actually watch a game live and bring that experience to more people. Again, if you're not there courtside, what does it feel like to sit on the court and be right there with your favorite team? So creating more of those moments and use cases is what we are focused on. And gaming is one way, but there's lots of other use cases that we see. We also are seeing people doing chores around their house while watching their favorite games in Nick Stadium. So there's, I think, a multitude of reasons why this technology, especially with mixed reality, where you can still pass through, see your kids walking through the background, your dog on the couch, really allows you to be present and not feel isolated, or it becomes a more social experience also. So you and I can be in two different places, watching my favorite team, which may not be your favorite team, and we feel like we're watching the same game and together.
And have you seen situations where like a family of 5 is sitting with 5 headsets on?
I mean, we would love to sell 5 to a family, but not yet. I think that we see teens and young adults do play a lot together. We have lots of content that is intentionally social. So Roblox, for example, is meant to be played together. Beat Saber is meant to be played together. Super Rumble. So there's lots of different ways. And then we also have 2D available on cross screen so that if you don't have Quest 3, you can also experience that very different content, 2D experience on Instagram and Facebook. Obviously way better to be immersive. So go to Mandala Beach and do a demo.
Nice, okay. Also, technically speaking, is it a completely different camera setup? Are you guys going to all these games with your own camera setup, or is it kind of mixed use?
We do a lot of content that we shoot 360 as well, but we also are able to import feeds in and capture content in a way that feels way more immersive than watching it on an 8K TV. Very
cool. So, Tammy, you just got back from the NBA Finals. We just saw the Boston Celtics win in very impressive fashion. I don't know if there's any Boston fans out there. I mean, maybe one or two. What are some of the more innovative things that you and your team did to make the NBA Finals more exciting and memorable this year?
So the finals were so incredibly exciting after the amazing playoffs we had, and we, first and foremost, we launched this campaign. I don't know how many people saw it, but we called it the Toast. And the concept was basically bringing together the NBA extended family for a celebration, anticipation of the finals to come. And we wanted it to be representative of sort of the core authentic fans and celebrities that are sort of tied to our family. NBA legends showed up, we had singers show up, we had actors show up, and everyone came together to just like appreciate the incredible season we had just watched. And it was supposed to be sort of just in anticipation and excitement of the finals to come, to kind of generate that excitement from our fandom. And we were able to extend the toast into the real world. So we did that in a couple ways. One way was for game one, we partnered with ESPN to do a live stream of a concert as well as game one in Times Square. And so we built bleacher seating, we brought in sound so you could listen to the game. We also brought in all the elements to do a physical toast. So we were able to hand out these cool glasses and have Astari, who's one of our partners, provide the beverage because they don't like it when you put a lot of alcohol in Times Square just for everybody. So, and ultimately we were able to reach, I think the count was something like almost 87,000 people in one evening in Times Square, kind of participate, engage, walk by the live stream, and we extended those live stream watch parties globally in dozens of markets. And we also did an activation at Governor's Ball. So talking about, going back to the top about our alignment with music, we brought the toast to Governor's Ball, where we had a DJ, we brought a lot of the elements of the setup from the shoot and the campaign there. We brought some legends there to do some photo ops. And so we were able to kind of tie a lot of our real life activations to the overall campaign and concept of celebrating the finals together.
And were you in New York, and did you get to see that in Times Square?
Yes, it was. I have video. I'll share it with you so you can experience it.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Shachar, so how are newer technologies altering the way that people consume sports content? How is Meta closing the gap between in-person and virtual experiences for fans?
There's, I think, an experience that fans want to have when they're there in person. And I think a big part of that is being with your friends and family when you're experiencing it. And so our platforms, our technology, the hardware that we sell is about enhancing that social connection that you have while you're experiencing something. So when it comes to sports, it is about the fandom, rooting for your favorite teams, feeling connected to the players and the teams and the league, and bringing that experience wherever you are. And so I think from the immersive perspective of mixed reality, again, being able to feel like you're there in person, even if you're not, to being there in person and wanting to experience it without holding your phone out to capture content, and being able to do that hands-free, to the family of apps and all of our social content that you're able to engage with players during their downtime and in between all the games and moments. So it is about, I think, connection and finding reasons and ways to connect more meaningfully with your favorite teams and sports and players, and doing it all the time. So we are wherever everywhere that you are, you can bring our technology with you.
And do you feel like there's going to be a major changeover in the coming years where people will be like, oh, not with my hands?
Yes, we believe the next computing platform will be on your face and will look like this. And it will be something that you can wear and use every single day, in the same way that, we used to have phones in our cars, right? They didn't leave the cars. And we had smartphones, we brought them everywhere. Now we have 2 smartphones or 3 and an iPad and a computer. We think the next generation of computing platforms will be wearable.
Very cool. It's funny, it reminds me of Back to the Future 2. They're in the future and they're in an arcade. Do you remember this?
Yes.
The kids go, playing with your hands, that's for babies. Sorry,
So
we're
regressing.
Yes.
We're regressing to
There
our
we
youth.
go. All right, well, we're almost done here. I have a question for both of you. You both have such exciting positions at the world's most dynamic and interesting companies. What are each of you guys looking forward to most in the near future? And this could be personal or work.
I'm just really excited about the incredible storytelling we have ahead of us at the league. We're at this point of changing of the guards of some of our biggest stars and talent, and we have such an amazing young crop of amazing talent coming up in the ranks. And we've started to put a lot of their stories more front and center, and I think we're just scratching the surface. So I'm really excited to be able to lean in more and introduce, more of all sides of our players to folks globally.
Okay, cool. Shachar?
I think our long-term vision is that all of our technology is accessible, free, and we're democratizing it to all parts of the world. And so the 4 billion people that use our apps every single day, how do we reach them in a meaningful way? And so you'll see more styles, more frames, more price points, diversity in colors and fit, so that more people can access the technology in a way that fits their life and their wallets. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to, is just making it available to everyone.
And by the way, are you taking these glasses on any sort of adventure after this?
On a what?
On any sort of adventure after
Oh,
this?
I mean, I've worn them on every speaking opportunity that we've had this week. I travel a lot for work, and I'm gonna go this summer with a family to Italy, so I'll definitely bring them there. I mean, I literally use them every day, so.
Yeah, it's just life now. It's
Yeah,
just like the
yeah.
norm. Very cool. Well, I have a extensive travel plan after this, so thank you very much for these. I'm going to enjoy them thoroughly.
They look really good on you.
Well, thank you guys so much for the time today. It looks like our time is up, but wanted to thank both Shachar and Tammy. Give them a round of applause, please.
Thank you.